Here is every wager I place for UFC Baku. Last week, we smacked on nearly every bet I put on the board, so this week, we're going to try to replicate that success. I only picked bets that I think are going to slap, so let's get into the wagers. First fight we got to bet on is Bekzat Almakhan taking on Jean Matsumoto, and I think Bekzat's only way to win in this matchup is by knockout or by perhaps landing something big in 2 of the 3 rounds to win a 29-28 decision. I think Jean Matsumoto has more ways to win. I think he can win the minutes of this fight. His takedowns are going to be there all 3 rounds. Bekzat, the only thing that we know about him is his takedown defense is mid. He doesn't throw at a lot of volume. Jean Matsumoto throws with lots of volume, mixes in takedowns. As long as he's not getting clipped, he should be winning rounds. He should be winning minutes on the ground. I wouldn't be shocked to see him even find the submission. So I'm going to be going with Jean Matsumoto to win this fight. I'm going to say by decision, but the wager is going to be 3 units. We're starting with 3 units on Jean sub/decision. If he knocks out Bekzat, I didn't see that coming, but I don't think Pillow Fist Jean is going to do that. I think he's just going to have a takedown masterclass and win that way. Next fight we got a wager on is Khan Ofli taking on Javier Reyes, and I'm not convinced Khan Ofli is very good. He's mainly a wrestler or a grappler, and when he fights another wrestler or grappler, he actually gets out-wrestled and out-grappled. So what does he actually bring to the table? He doesn't have much volume on the feet. He doesn't have much power. He kind of looks scared in the octagon, and he's fighting a very scary power puncher in Javier Reyes. So I think Javier Reyes is just going to do what he did in his last 2 fights, march down his opponent, who's way smaller. He's got a 7-inch reach advantage. Corner him against the cage, start firing, and ultimately knock out Khan Ofli. So I'm going to be going with Javier Reyes to win this fight by knockout. Got 3 units on his money line, -210. I think his money line is playable from a betting perspective because I do think he could potentially latch in a front choke if Khan Ofli is panic shooting. I also think he can just potentially win a decision if Khan Ofli is pretty durable and can't get out of there. Also, I am a little concerned Khan Ofli, maybe he grabs the back of Javier Reyes and, but if that were to happen, I only think he wins the round. I don't think he's finding the sub, and I don't think he can do that for 2 of 3 rounds. So Javier Reyes, pretty confident pick. Next fight we got a wager on is Nursultan Ruziboyev taking on Andrey Pulyaev. And in this one, I think the only way Andrey Pulyaev wins is by decision. I think he's going to need to play a very heavy points fighting type of fight, stay on the outside, constantly dart around the cage. And I think he can do that against a guy in Ruziboyev who's 3-7 to the decision. Takedown defense is okay. Pulaev's not shooting any takedowns. I see a lot of people saying Ruziboyev is going to activate his wrestling here. We've yet to really see him have a fight where he's activated his wrestling for 3 rounds. And if he does that against Pulyaev, 40 fights deep into his MMA career, all the power to him. However, if this is on the feet, I think Pulyaev is going to be way craftier. He will throw at less power, but Ruziboyev barely lands. He's landed 35 significant strikes or less in all of his UFC fights. This guy's not a volume guy. He's looking for the big shot. And against a points fighter in Pulyaev, I don't think the big shot's going to present itself. So I'm going to be going with Andrey Pulyaev to specifically win this by decision. 0.6 units on the decision prop, plus 500. I don't think playing his money line is smart. I sincerely doubt he's going to KO or submit Ruziboyev. So decision plus 500. Let's go. Next fight we got a wager on is Abdulrahman Yakhyaev taking on Julius Walker. And in this one, a lot of people taking Yakhyaev round 1 submission, round 1 KO. I will say this guy's mainly a grappler. Sure, he's been landing some nice knockouts in the UFC on the Contender Series and in recent fights, but this guy's mainly a grappler. And what is Julius Walker? He's athletic. And he's also a grappler. So how does Yakhyaev win? Does he keep it on the feet? Well, Julius Walker is huge. He's a bit chinny. He has been rocked and wobbled by Cerquera. He did get knocked out by Dustin Jacoby, but I don't think Yakhyaev's striking is nearly as good as Dustin Jacoby's. So on the feet, I think it's a little close. It could be tit for tat. On the ground, I don't think Yakhyaev is finding the sub as easily as people think. I do think, though, Yakhyaev will have takedown success and will be able to control Walker on the ground once it gets there. So for all those reasons, I'm going to be going with Yakhyaev Walker over 1.5 rounds, plus 176. Listen, everybody and their grandma's taking Yakhyaev round 1. I'm going with a little different method here. 0.6 units, over 1.5 rounds. It's worth it, in my opinion. I think Walker is pretty durable on the ground. On the feet's a question, but on the ground, which is where Yakhyaev wants to bring this, it's going to look pretty questionable. And Yakhyaev has won by decision before, and in that fight, all he did was lay in the guard and land ground and pound. I think he can do the same here. Next fight we got a wager on is Abus Magomedov taking on Manuel Torres. And in this one, yes, Abus Magomedov may not have the best gas tank, but neither does Manuel Torres. On the feet, Manuel will throw with more volume. He will throw with slightly more power, but Abus is super long, super rangy, super points fight heavy. I think he can keep this on the back foot, circle Manuel on the feet, and the thing that's going to really bring this fight home for Abus is going to be the takedowns. Manuel Torres takedown defense is horribly mid, and once you bring him to the mat, more often than not, he gets submitted. 6 submission losses to his resume. Abus Magomedov, his only losses in the UFC are Caio Baralho, Sean Strickland, Joe Pyfer. I don't think Manuel Torres is of that caliber of fighter. So I'm going to be going Abus Magomedov to survive the first round. Don't get knocked out early. Keep this at range. Mix in the takedowns. Get Manuel thinking about the takedowns. 3 units on Abus moneyline, which he's flipping to the underdog, which is crazy. Minus 106 currently. I like that a lot. Next fight we got a wager on is Nazim Sadykhov taking on Matheus Camilo. And in this one, I think round 1, Matheus Camilo can definitely win if he activates takedowns, goes for grappling. He's definitely live to win early, but as the fight progresses, Matheus Camilo's cardio goes out the window. Nazim Sadykhov, nearly all of his UFC wins are by later round finish. 1 + 1 = 2. That's the bet I'm going with. I'm going with Nazim Sadykhov to win this by sub, considering Camilo's all 3 of his losses are by sub because he's gassed out in later rounds. But the bet is going to be Nazim to win in round 2, specifically 0.6 units on a plus 450. If it hits round 2, we're going to be extremely live. Camilo can definitely win this in round 1. But if round 2 starts, Nazim, that's when he starts to turn it up. In Azerbaijan, let's go the Black Wolf. In the main event, we got Rafael Fiziev taking on Manuel Torres. And you guys have heard me all week. I think Manuel Torres is going to go out there, march Fiziev down, get him against the cage, and ultimately knock him out. So I'm going to be going with Manuel Torres, knockout, round 1, El Loco, 3 units on the money line, plus 100. If this doesn't hit, I'll be very upset, because that means Torres probably got finished. Torres gassed. We saw a side of Torres we haven't seen. I don't want to see that. I want to see Torres do what he's done, go out there, be crazy, get that knockout. And the Finz Hammerlock, my weekly most confident underdog take of the card. This week, we only have, I believe, 3 underdogs picked. We have, let's see, Abus Magomedov, which, I mean, he's flipped to an underdog, so didn't really pick him as an underdog, but he has flipped there. Andrey Pulyaev, which is a sketchy underdog pick, I'm not going to lie. But the last underdog we have picked, this is my most confident one, is going to be Manuel Torres. Plus 100 on the money line. I like this a lot. I think he's going to go out there, march down Fiziev, and knock him out. Fiziev's KO loss to Rufi is, yeah, sure, it's aging well. Rufi's pretty good, tactical striker, but I didn't like what I saw. That was one of the first times we saw Fiziev literally crumble over due to strikes. Usually when he crumbles over, it's due to a leg injury or, like, an eye injury, but against Rufi, he literally just crumbled. And Manuel Torres is going to bring the same exact pressure, same exact power, if not more power, if not more pressure, if not more craziness. So let's go, Manuel. Find the finish for us, please. And here are all the wagers and bets that I discussed over the course of the card. If you want to tail them, go ahead. If you want to fade them, go ahead. Javier Reyes, Abus Magomedov, Manuel Torres. I think those 3 guys are winning. I also got Jean Matsumoto. I think he's winning as well. Over 1.5 in the Abdul fight. Pulyaev by decision specifically. And Sadykhov to win in round 2 specifically. We got some nice long shots. Nice straight bets. No parlays this week. Week number 2 of no parlays. Let's see if we can make it week number 2 of finding a profit. With that being said, leave a like. Let me know in the comments what your favorite bet of the card is overall. Plus money, minus money, straight bet, 2-leg parlay. Let me know down below. And you can have a great rest of your day. Let's make some money this weekend. You savage.